Hi, my name is Laura Brady, and I will be presenting my action research project titled Using Tactile Learning to Teach Early Literacy Skills in Kindergarten. I'd first like to give some background information on the school that I work at and the students that I serve. I teach at Mariposa Avenue Elementary School, which is a K-5 Title I school in the San Juan Unified School District. 80% of the students at my school fall under the category of socioeconomically disadvantaged. I teach kindergarten and I have 26 students in my class and 4 English learners. At the start of the school year, we were 100% distance learning due to the pandemic, so all of my instruction was done online using the Zoom platform. As a kindergarten teacher, one of the biggest jobs I have is teaching my students how to read. So naturally, I wanted to focus my research questions on looking at different strategies I can use to help support my students in their reading development. So my research questions for this action research project are: how do hands-on activities during guided reading lessons help to improve student reading levels? How do manipulatives such as Elkin boxes help students decode words out of context? And what impact, if any, does tactile learning have on reading development? The literature that I found supports the following ideas. Students are successful when taught in small guided reading groups, and best teaching practices are in place. Sound boxes can improve phonemic awareness and letter sound correspondence. A well-rounded guided reading program needs powerful teaching. Repetition and teacher modeling support reading skills. Since my focus is on hands-on learning and how it affects reading development, I wanted to focus round one using magnet boards and magnet letters to help students practice building different words and finding different letter sounds and practicing letter sound correspondence. So the students were provided with a magnet board and a full alphabet of magnet letters, and I recorded 3 different reading groups and transcribed what I saw in those lessons. My goal for this round was to just see how using the alphabet magnet boards affected student learning during the guided reading lesson. The data I collected for round 1 included the video recordings of the Zoom guided reading lessons as well as a CVC word blending assessment. The results of the video recording showed me that the students from all 3 groups were more engaged when they had the magnets and magnet boards in front of them during the lesson, compared to other times in the lesson when no hands-on manipulatives were used. The CVC word blending assessment showed me that while some students were capable of blending the CVC words, there were many students who struggled to even make the correct sounds for the words, and a lot of students still struggled to blend the words once they knew the sounds. So I knew that that would be my focus moving forward with round 2. During round 2, we transitioned to a hybrid model of instruction. Cohorts A and B attended school 2 days per week. This round was conducted over a 2-week period. Each cohort was given a CVC word assessment at the beginning of the round and again at the end, and I spent 2 days for each cohort practicing with sound boxes. Students practiced orally segmenting and writing the sounds in the sound boxes. During this round, I observed 2 sample students to see how well they did during the whole group instruction, and what I found was that both sample students were pretty good at orally segmenting the sounds in the CVC words, and they struggled with writing the letters correctly down into the sound boxes. However, both sample students seemed to do a pretty good job identifying the initial sound compared to the vowel sound or the ending sound. After looking at the results of the CVC word blending assessment, I could see that some students' scores improved while others didn't, and I saw that some scores remained the same. So I knew that I wanted to focus on CVC words and using the sound boxes again for my round 3 data collection. For the final round of data collection, I wanted to continue to use the sound boxes during the instruction. I had the students practice building various CVC words. I also gave them magnet letters and had them build as many words as they could. I recorded my 2 sample students reading their words back to me. I also gave them the CVC word assessment again at the end of the round of instruction, as well as the BPST, which is a basic phonics skills test. I then compared the new scores to their previous scores collected in March. The following graph shows the data I collected from the video recordings of my sample students. What I saw was that my sample student 1 consistently omitted initial sounds and had no correct blends. Sample student 2 correctly blended 5 out of a possible 6 words. You can see that the scores for the CVC word assessment drastically improved from the very first time it was given. Also, the BPST scores improved for pretty much every single student across the board. After reviewing the results of all the rounds, I can conclude that the use of hands-on manipulatives, magnetic letters, and sound boxes had a positive impact on student reading development. By the end of the rounds of data collection, students had demonstrated stronger letter-sound correspondence and blending skills and segmenting skills. There was an overall increase in average BPST and CVC word assessment scores. Even though I couldn't target specific reading levels during rounds 2 and 3, I was able to implement hands-on learning to cohorts A and B and collect data on the effects of that instruction. Almost all the students' scores improved on the BPST and CVC word assessment, which shows that using sound boxes and magnetic letters during whole group instruction still had a positive impact on student learning. The results of my action research supports the literature I found that says hands-on learning can have a positive impact on students' reading skills. Specifically, the use of sound boxes and magnetic letters showed an increase in student engagement as well as improvement in segmenting, blending, and letter sound correspondence. In the future, I would like to continue to find additional hands-on strategies to support student engagement. If students are engaged in the activity, then they are more likely to retain the information taught. It is my goal as a teacher to use this knowledge gained from my research to continue to implement best teaching practices so that I can support the needs of all my students. Here is a list of the references used in my presentation. Thank you for watching. That concludes my presentation on my action research project.